Most of the studio monitor recommendations you see online just aren't going to work for you as a home music producer because they don't take into account this one vital reality. Just kidding, I'm not going to leave you hanging like that. So what is this one vital factor? It is room size. So most of the studio monitor recommendations out there, right, those might work well in a studio environment, but you're not working in a studio environment most likely. Most likely you're in a bedroom, which is what I have right here. This is a bedroom in my house that I'm using as an office/studio, and it is smaller in size. I'm guessing your room is probably somewhat small as well. And so in this case, you don't want giant monitors in your studio. So then what are the best monitors for beginners working in a smaller room? Well, in my opinion, they are the IK Multimedia iLoud micro monitors. And you can get these by clicking the link below in the description or by going to orpheusaudioacademy.com/iLoud. Hi, I'm Reagan Ram with Orpheus Audio Academy, helping you make better music and grow a fan base online. And today we're talking all about the best studio monitors for beginners. And like I said, those are these, the IK Multimedia iLoud micro monitors. And so the reason these are great are for a couple factors. Number one, you want your studio monitors to be linear and transparent, right? You don't want them with a big winding EQ curve that is going to trick your ears. You want it to be as linear as possible so you're hearing the clearest, most accurate picture of your music. And that is definitely the case here with these iLouds. Again, they look small, right? These might not look like professional monitors, but they definitely are. These are used in professional studios as well as can be used in, home bedroom studios or on the go. Another great thing about these is that they are very portable because of their size, but they're also just very accurate, very linear, and have a great frequency response with no coloration. And so most of your good studio monitors are going to have this quality. So this doesn't really set it apart from any other, studio monitors out there that are good. But this definitely checks that box, which is important for studio monitors. And it's why you want quality studio monitors versus just using like computer speakers. But the second factor that makes this the best monitor size for bedroom producers, beginners, just anyone working in a smaller space is the size. So you might see a lot of people online using these large studio monitors and they just look great. They look professional and you think that's what you need to get to create professional sounding music, but this is not always the case. And this is just because of the inherent reality of sound waves, the physics of sound waves. So room size absolutely matters for what size monitors you should be getting. And this is because smaller rooms simply aren't large enough to allow bass frequencies to fully develop. And right, comes down to the physics of sound waves. So if you're thinking about sound frequencies, you have the higher frequencies up here. That's high frequency. So the wave is going up and down very fast. And so you can think of these sound waves as bouncing around your room like a super ball or a bouncy ball, which, bounces off of a bunch of surfaces. And then you have your mid-range frequencies. So they are a little bit slower. So that means the wavelength is larger. So right, the length from one peak of a wave to another peak is larger. So it takes longer for those waves to develop, but they're mid-range, they're not super long developing. So you can think of the physics of these sound waves as being like a slightly deflated volleyball. So you throw that at your wall in your studio, it's kind of going to hit the wall and then just kind of plop onto the floor. Then you have your bass frequencies, and these are very slow. These are a lower frequency range. So the waves are not going up and down as fast, and you also have a much larger wavelength, which means your studio likely isn't big enough for the wave to actually completely develop. And so I'll talk about in a second what this means for your listening environment and for your studio monitors, but you can think of these bass frequencies as like a bowling ball. And so if you throw this at your wall, it's likely to actually punch through your wall and actually transmit, which is why when you are outside a building and you're hearing music playing from inside that building, what do you hear? You're only really hearing those bass frequencies because those are the only frequencies that can actually punch through the walls and transmit through. And so what this means for you in your small bedroom studio, which likely doesn't have a lot of acoustic treatment, is you're going to be losing a lot of those bass frequencies. They're going to be leaving your space, especially if you have these larger monitors pumping out a lot of bass with the subwoofer. Your studio, your room is just not equipped to handle those wavelengths. So you're going to lose clarity in the bass frequency range. So it's going to be hard to distinguish and make decisions when mixing, but you're also just going to have an absence of bass in general with a room like this with larger monitors, because the bass is just leaving your room. So when you're mixing, you think there's not enough bass here, I'm going to add more bass. And then when you go and listen to it in your car or in other environments, you're like, whoa, this is all muddy and boomy. Why does this sound bad? It sounded good in my studio. It's very frustrating. Well, it could be you're not listening on the right monitors. So having these smaller monitors is awesome for a beginner if you have an untreated room or just a smaller room in general that you're mixing in. Also, if you're using a laptop, you're on the go, these are also great because they're so small and portable. So that makes these monitors really the best for less than ideal listening environments, which is why I say these are the best monitors for beginners, because you're going to sit them there on your desk. They're maybe fairly close to you. They're smaller and more precise. So they definitely still pack a punch. They're definitely very loud. They're called iLouds for a reason. So you can definitely get the output that you want, so you can listen back to your music at 85 to 90 dBs, which is what you want to do when you're using EQ. So you're making the most accurate decisions. But they're also going to be very linear and very precise and not be tricking your ears because of the room that you are mixing in. So if you're looking to get a great pair of professional studio monitors that are also going to work with your room rather than conflict with the room you're in, then I highly recommend the IK Multimedia iLoud micro monitors. And so if you want to pick these up for yourself, just click in the description below. I have a affiliate link there. So if you do purchase through that link, I will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. And this goes a long way towards helping support this channel. So I really appreciate it if you do grab these speakers through my link. Now, speaking of producing professional quality music, if you want to finish more radio ready tracks faster, then I have a free rapid song finishing checklist that you can grab in the description below. And this will walk you through a proven mixing formula, so you're never confused on where to go next when you're working on your tracks. Therefore, you can finish more music faster and it will be higher quality as well. With that said, if you found this video helpful, I love if you dropped a like. Also, if you want more gear reviews and recommendations, just check out the playlist on the screen right now. And as always, be sure to keep creating.